Hello, it's good to have you with us at this hour. I'm Daniel Choy. Let's start with inter-Korean relations. The militaries of both South and North Koreas have returned to peacetime level defense postures. The moves are a natural progression of events after tensions between two sides were diffused following Tuesday's landmark deal, an agreement reached to end the hostilities and expand cross-border ties. According to a South Korean military official who spoke on the condition of anonymity Sunday, the highest alert level issued for frontline units, including the Jindokgae 1, have been lifted, while North Korea lifted its special duty order for frontline units as well as the quasi-war state declared by Kim Jong-un ahead of the deal. It seems the next round of high-level talks between the two Koreas could center around the unification ministers of both sides. According to South Korean government sources, Seoul feels that discussions surrounding war-separated family reunions and Mount Kumgang tours should involve Hong Yong-pyo, the South's unification minister, and Kim Yang-gun, head of the North's United Front Department of the Korean Workers' Party, responsible for South Korea-related affairs. It added that high-level meetings like the recent 2+2 talks involving South Korean Presidential Security Advisor Kim Kwan-jin and North Korean Army Politburo Chief Hwang Byung-seo are only necessary when inter-Korean tensions reach dangerous levels. However, it remains to be seen how Pyongyang responds to Seoul's suggestion. Korea has again urged Japan to take specific measures to resolve Japanese military sexual enslavement of Korean women during World War II. Korea's Foreign Ministry spokesman No Kwang-il said in a statement on Sunday the Japanese government must take concrete action to swiftly resolve the issue as stressed by President Park Geun-hye in her Liberation Day address on August 15th. No also urged Prime Minister Shinzo Abe's administration to make sincere efforts to maintain the historical perceptions of past administrations. Korea's Constitutional Court in 2011 ruled the Japanese government's lack of effort to resolve the wartime sex slavery issue unconstitutional. A huge protest against the controversial new security bill was held outside Japan's parliament on Sunday, demanding the resignation of Prime Minister Shinzo Abe as well. The latest rally dwarfed a string of similar protests in recent months, with celebrities like musician Ryuichi Sakamoto and opposition party leaders including Katsuya Okada taking part. Anti-war citizens groups organizing the event claimed more than 120,000 gathered outside the Diet building and that around 200 protest rallies were held nationwide. The changes that Abe has been fervently pushing for would allow deployment of Japanese troops abroad for the first time since World War II. Abe insists the move is necessary to allow Japan to deal with the changing security environment. However, many fear it will drag Japan into unnecessary wars, and legal scholars have labeled the changes unconstitutional. Polls show many Japanese citizens oppose them and wish to protect the nation's pacifist constitution. China is getting ready to celebrate its National War Commemoration event on September 3rd, marking the 70th anniversary of its victory over Japan in World War II. There will be a massive military parade in Beijing with some 12,000 Chinese troops and new high-tech weapons on display at Tiananmen Square. Fighter jets, missiles, and nuclear weaponry will also be disclosed to the public to showcase China's military might. China has invited prominent leaders to that parade, a high-profile show of force, but many Western leaders are expected to shun the event. Once again, there is discord between Korea's rival parties, this time over the creation of a panel to review the government's special allowances. They hope to reach an agreement on this key issue soon, as the National Assembly is set to kick off its regular session this week. Our Kim Jong-un has more.
The main opposition New Politics Alliance for Democracy Party wants to set up a reform committee at the National Assembly to overhaul the government's special allowances, which are granted to government officials and lawmakers on a monthly basis for personal activities, and are often referred to as easy money. Therefore, the MPAD is demanding transparency with the disclosure of all spending of the allowances by government officials. However, the ruling's Henry Party opposes because it claims full disclosure could compromise confidentiality of certain activities, such as those related to the National Intelligence Service, the nation's top spy agency. While rival parties continue to be at loggerheads over such issues, the National Assembly will begin its 100-day regular session this Tuesday. The ruling's Henry Party vowed to pass a set of bills aimed at reforming Korea's labor market, and President Park Geun-hye's reform drive centered on the public, finance, and education sectors. The MPAD says its goals for the upcoming session are to promote public livelihood, economic revival, labor reform, and national unity. Also on the agenda for the rival parties are next year's budget and the inspection of government offices. Kim Jong-un, Arirang News.
Staying in the nation, more and more state-run corporations are falling in line with the government's drive to adopt the wage peak system. In August, a total of 65 public institutions implemented it. That's a huge spike from just 11 a month before. The government has been urging the public sector to adopt the system, warning that bonuses and other benefits could be withheld if they refuse. On Sunday, the state-run Government Employees Pension Service became the latest to adopt the system. Under it, the salaries of workers nearing retirement age are lowered gradually in return for more time on the job, with those funds redirected to hire younger workers. Korea is heavily dependent on China, especially in trade. That's a fact. And that is actually a cause for concern, as a new report suggests China's slow growth could have a direct impact on the domestic economy down the road. For details, we turn to our Kim Min-ji.
China's weakening growth could have a dire impact on the Korean economy. That's according to a report by Hyundai Research Institute, which says China's slowdown is raising concerns of a possible triple-dip recession for the local economy. China's growth has been trending downward since 2007, reaching only 7% in the first half of this year, with some analysts mulling over whether to revise next year's outlook down to the 6% range. For Korea, that could spell disaster, as China accounts for nearly a third of its exports. The report said that should the growth rate fall below 5%, Korea's exports will fall 4 percentage points, while its economic growth will fall 1 percentage point. If China records growth in the 5% range, Korea's exports will fall 2.2 percentage points and growth 0.6 percentage points. The report called for preemptive measures, which include systematic management of foreign reserves, as well as fostering a strong domestic economy to prevent the worst-case scenario. Kim Min-ji, Arirang News.
Vietnam is now Korea's fourth largest export market. According to data by the Korea International Trade Association and the Korea Trade Investment Promotion Agency, or KOTRA, the Southeast Asian country exceeded Japan in the first 7 months of this year, thanks largely to a surge in shipments of intermediate goods, including components for wireless communication equipment. It amounted to $16.35 billion in the January-July period, when shipments to Japan during the same period was at $15.48 billion. Korean exports to Vietnam jumped more than 29% in the 7-month term from a year ago, while exports to Japan declined mainly due to a weak Japanese currency. During that time, China was Korea's largest export market at more than $79 billion, followed by the United States at some $41 billion and Hong Kong with more than $16 billion. A team of Korean researchers has discovered the mechanism behind a new treatment principle for cancer. They say their findings will enhance existing treatment options to facilitate the development of new anti-cancer drugs. Our Park Se-young brings us this report.
Immunotherapy helps restore or enhance a cancer patient's immune system. This treatment option is widely used because it doesn't cause pain or nausea. A research team from Korea has now discovered an antibody that generates anti-tumor immunity, taking a step closer to the development of more efficient anti-cancer drugs. When patients are injected with the antibody, it stimulates helper T cells and induces an immune response by enhancing the function of dendritic cells. Researchers tested the antibody on mice with colorectal cancer. After 3 weeks, the treated specimens had their tumors reduced to about 1/5 the size of those that did not receive treatment.
The antibody produces outstanding anti-tumor effects, but it's even more effective when used in combination with existing options. We expect our findings to dramatically prolong the lives of cancer patients.
The researchers' findings reveal the underlying mechanism of anti-tumor immunity generated by the specific antibody and was published in the journal Nature Medicine earlier this month. The antibody is currently undergoing clinical trials. Park Se-young, Arirang News.
And now the weather. Just to remind Koreans that summer is still here, the mercury will spike to over 30 during the daytime on Monday, but a sign that fall may be on the horizon. Expect temperatures to dip as the sun sets. If you're in Jeju, be sure to wear a raincoat or use an umbrella as heavy showers are in the forecast. And now let's check out the weather conditions in other parts of our world and in your neck of the woods. And that's all we could squeeze into this newscast. Thank you so much for watching. Here's wishing you a smooth transition to a new week.